Did you know that 89% of vehicles that reach 500,000 miles have never had a major repair? Most drivers give up at 200,000 miles, but that's when your car is barely getting started. In today's video, we're revealing 6 secret habits that ultra-high mileage car owners swear by to keep their engines running like new. Plus, we'll expose the $15 oil change mistake that's quietly destroying $8,000 engines. Stick around to the end for a bonus habit that's shockingly simple, but almost no one does it, and it can double your car's life. Let's kick off habit number 1. Number 1, the oil change lie that's killing your engine. This mistake alone has destroyed more high-mileage dreams than every other habit combined. Here's the truth. Every single 500,000-mile car owner I've met follows this one rule religiously. Change your oil and filter every 5,000 miles, no exceptions. Skip this habit just once, and you could be looking at a $6,000 engine rebuild. Motor oil acts as the lifeblood of your vehicle, reducing friction, cooling engine components, and carrying away harmful contaminants. Over time, however, oil breaks down and loses its protective qualities. This is especially true if you drive in harsh conditions, like stop-and-go traffic, extreme temperatures, short trips, or towing. Using full synthetic oil instead of conventional oil makes a massive difference here. Synthetic oil resists thermal breakdown much better, flows more smoothly at startup when cold, and maintains its lubricating and protective properties for longer intervals. This not only helps reduce internal wear, but also keeps your engine running quieter, cooler, and cleaner. But changing the oil alone isn't enough. Many car owners ignore the filter, thinking it'll last through a few oil changes. That's a mistake that can cost you dearly over time. Here's what most people don't realize. A $12 dirty oil filter can destroy a $15,000 turbocharger in under 20,000 miles. This accelerates wear on critical parts like camshafts, lifters, bearings, and even turbochargers in modern engines. Every time you change the oil, you should replace the filter with a high-quality one, ideally OEM, or a reputable aftermarket brand like Mobil 1, Bosch, or Wix. Those $3 cheap filters, they collapse under pressure and let metal particles grind your engine to death. Literally. Think of your oil filter as your engine's kidney. If it stops doing its job properly, contaminants build up and slowly poison the system. For under $10 extra, using a high-quality filter is a no-brainer investment in your car's long-term health. Also, make sure the filter you choose has an anti-drainback valve if your car's design requires it. This feature ensures that oil stays in the filter even after shutdown, preventing dry starts. Here's the secret manufacturers don't want you to know. Ignore those 10,000-mile intervals in your manual. They're designed to sell you new cars, not save your engine. Yes, modern engines and synthetics are more advanced than ever, but those longer intervals are based on ideal laboratory conditions, not real-world driving. Real-world conditions are often harsh and fall under what manufacturers classify as severe use. That includes short trips where the engine doesn't fully warm up, long idling times, dusty roads, high-speed driving, stop-and-go urban traffic, and extreme cold or hot climates. Under these conditions, oil degrades faster and can form sludge, varnish, or carbon buildup inside the engine. Sludge is one of the biggest killers of engines that could otherwise go the distance. Regular 5,000-mile changes ensure that fresh, clean oil is always circulating through your engine, minimizing metal-on-metal contact and continuously flushing out microscopic debris and contaminants before they become a bigger problem. Also, consider sending your used oil for lab analysis every 25,000 miles or so. It can give you incredible insight into your engine's internal health and let you know if there's unusual wear happening that you can address before it turns into a major repair. Here's one more advanced tip. Pre-fill your oil filter before installation, especially on larger engines or vehicles with remote-mounted filters. Pre-filling reduces the time the engine runs without oil pressure after startup, a critical window when most wear occurs. You should also check your oil level regularly between changes, especially if your engine is older or has over 100,000 miles. Even with perfect oil change habits, some engines naturally burn a bit of oil over time. Running low on oil just once can undo years of maintenance in seconds. Lastly, always warm up your engine for 30 to 60 seconds before driving off, especially in colder climates. Number 2, the fluid. 90% ignore until it's $4,500 too late. Let me tell you something that'll shock you. More cars die from neglected transmission fluid than bad engines. Yet 90% of drivers ignore their transmission until it starts slipping. And by then, you're not fixing it, you're replacing it. That fluid running through your transmission isn't just there for lubrication. It's what allows your car to shift smoothly, stay cool under pressure, and avoid metal-on-metal contact. Over time, though, that fluid breaks down. Heat, dirt, and tiny metal shavings from internal parts contaminate it. And when it's dirty or degraded, your transmission has to work harder, runs hotter, and wears out way faster. That's why flushing your transmission fluid every 30,000 to 50,000 miles is one of the best-kept secrets to reaching 500,000 miles without repairs. It keeps internal components clean, reduces heat buildup, and prevents premature failure, especially on modern vehicles with CVT or dual-clutch systems, which are even more sensitive to fluid quality. Now, there's a lot of confusion around the word flush, and that's where many people go wrong. We're not talking about a simple drain and fill, where only about 40% of the old fluid gets replaced. A real flush replaces 95% of your old fluid, not the 40% you get from a basic drain and fill that most quick lube places try to sell you. It's like giving your transmission a blood transfusion. This process not only restores smooth shifting, but also removes harmful deposits that build up over time. And while some older mechanics still claim flushing can shock a transmission, that's outdated thinking based on high-mileage cars that had never been serviced. If you're flushing consistently every 30,000 to 50,000 miles with the right fluid type, you're doing your transmission a favor. Just make sure the shop uses the exact fluid type recommended by your vehicle's manufacturer. This isn't the time to cut corners. Using the wrong fluid can damage the internal clutches and valves. And one more pro tip: always change the transmission filter, if your vehicle has one, during the flush. A clean filter ensures your new fluid stays clean much longer. You can even ask for a visual inspection of the old fluid to gauge the health of your transmission. If it smells burnt or has a dark, cloudy color, you waited too long. Always record the service date and mileage so you stay ahead of the next flush. Now let's talk about cost versus long-term savings. Yes, a proper flush costs $150, $300, but compare that to a $4,500 transmission replacement. And that's if you're lucky. That might sound steep, but compare that to a full transmission rebuild, which can run you $3,000 to $5,000 or more. And that does not include potential labor costs or vehicle downtime, which can leave you stranded and scrambling for a rental. If you flush your fluid every 30,000 miles, by the time you hit 300,000 miles, you'll have spent maybe $1,000 total on maintenance. That's a small price to pay to avoid the financial nightmare of a failed transmission. Not to mention, a smooth shifting car feels better to drive and helps preserve fuel economy. The fluid also contains additives that help condition seals and reduce wear on key components like the torque converter, valve body, and clutch packs. When those parts fail, they don't just wear, they often take the whole transmission down with them. That's why seasoned car owners who make it to 400 or 500,000 miles all swear by this habit. It's not optional, it's essential. Treat your transmission like your engine, and it will return the favor for hundreds of thousands of miles. It might seem like a small maintenance detail, but it's one that could end up being the difference between a junkyard and a 500,000-mile badge of honor. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do now. Number 3. The $12 fix for modern engines' biggest design flaw. Here's a habit that separates the 500,000-mile cars from the junkyard queens, and 95% of drivers completely ignore it. Over time, carbon deposits start to build up in your fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers. If these parts get clogged, your engine's efficiency drops, your miles per gallon suffer, and your risk of expensive engine damage skyrockets. That's why regularly cleaning your fuel system is one of the smartest habits you can adopt, and it's incredibly simple. Every 5,000 miles, spend $12 on fuel system cleaner. It's the cheapest insurance policy your engine will ever have. This allows the cleaner to mix with the fuel and work its way through the entire system, dissolving buildup and preventing new deposits from forming. It's cheap insurance. A $10 bottle of cleaner can prevent thousands of dollars in repairs down the road. Think of it as brushing your engine's teeth. A few minutes of attention now saves a world of pain later. If you drive a car made after 2010, listen up. Your GDI engine is a carbon-building time bomb without this habit. These engines are known for delivering better performance and fuel economy, but they come with a hidden downside. They're extremely prone to carbon buildup. Unlike traditional fuel injection systems that spray fuel into the intake manifold and wash over the valves, GDI systems inject fuel directly into the combustion chamber. This means the intake valves never get that cleaning effect from the fuel, so carbon builds up fast. That buildup can cause rough idling, poor acceleration, knocking, and eventually lead to misfires or engine damage. Over time, this can even trigger the dreaded check engine light. The good news is that regularly using a trusted cleaner that's labeled as GDI safe can significantly reduce these risks. You don't have to tear down the engine or pay a mechanic hundreds of dollars for a walnut blasting service. Instead, consistent fuel system maintenance can do the heavy lifting for you and help your engine stay strong well past the 200,000-mile mark, and even beyond that. Many drivers who follow this habit consistently report hitting 300,000 miles with zero injector issues. That's not luck. That's maintenance discipline. But here's what'll really blow your mind. Cleaning your fuel system is maintaining your car's fuel efficiency over the long haul. Even a small amount of deposit buildup on your fuel injectors can cause them to spray unevenly, which leads to incomplete combustion. That means more fuel gets wasted, emissions go up, and your car has to work harder just to deliver the same performance. The result? You end up spending more at the pump and stressing out your engine every time you drive. By keeping the fuel system clean, you help ensure your combustion process remains efficient, smooth, and consistent. And let's not forget cold starts. Dirty injectors make your engine struggle more in the morning, which can cause excess wear over time. When you develop the habit of adding a cleaner every 5,000 to 10,000 miles, you're not just preventing damage, you're optimizing your engine for longevity. That small 10-minute step at the gas station can translate into years of extra life for your vehicle, keeping you on the road without surprise repair bills or early engine failure. Combine this habit with high-quality gasoline and occasional long-distance highway drives to really flush out the system, and you'll be amazed at how your engine keeps running like new. Bonus tip: not all fuel system cleaners are created equal. Look for products that contain polyethyramine, also known as PEA. This is the gold standard chemical that actively dissolves carbon deposits and doesn't just displace them. Avoid cleaners that simply act as detergents or water removers. They won't give you the deep clean your injectors and valves need. Some of the most recommended brands include Chevron Techron, Redline SI1, and Royal Purple Max Clean. These products have been independently tested and shown to reduce deposits significantly over time. Keep a bottle in your trunk and make it a regular part of your fill-up routine. Just like changing your oil or checking your tire pressure, this is a simple ritual that, when done consistently, has a huge payoff in the long run. Take care of your fuel system, and it will take care of you for hundreds of thousands of miles to come. Number 4. Why checking coolant level will still get you stranded. If you're aiming for 500,000 miles without major repairs, the cooling system can't just be an afterthought. Most drivers check their coolant level and think they're safe. Meanwhile, a $15 thermostat is about to cost them their entire engine. The truth is, your car's cooling system is a network of interconnected parts that all have to work flawlessly to keep engine temperatures in check. One failed $20 part in your cooling system can destroy a $12,000 engine in under 5 minutes of driving. Just replacing coolant isn't enough. If you're serious about making it to 500,000 miles, you have to inspect, test, and sometimes replace key components on a preventive schedule, not when they fail. Because when they fail, the engine often follows. Start with the thermostat. It's a $10 to $20 part that can cause thousands of dollars in engine damage if it sticks closed. When a thermostat sticks closed, your engine overheats so fast that your temperature gauge won't even warn you in time. The scary part? You might not even see the temperature gauge spike in time to save it. If your car's past 100,000 miles and the thermostat hasn't been changed, consider replacing it, even if it seems fine. The same goes for your water pump. It's the heart of the cooling system, circulating coolant throughout the engine. Most water pumps wear out by 100,000 to 150,000 miles, and when they do, they don't always leak first. Some just seize or break internally. Look for any signs of seepage around the pump housing, listen for high-pitched whining, and check for any wobble in the pulley. And while you're there, inspect the drive belt. If it fails, the pump stops working instantly. On many modern engines, a broken belt can also lead to valve and piston damage if it's tied to the timing system. This is why regular visual checks, tension testing, and timely belt replacements are critical. Then there are the hoses, often the weakest link in the cooling system. Hoses degrade from the inside out, so even if they look fine, they can be one bad trip away from bursting. Feel for soft spots, swelling, or oil contamination. And don't forget the heater hoses. They're part of the cooling loop too and often neglected. Replace all rubber hoses every 7 to 10 years or around 100,000 miles. While you're inspecting, don't overlook the radiator cap. A bad cap can cause pressure loss, boiling coolant, or even air pockets in the system, all of which reduce cooling efficiency. For just $10 to $15, replacing it every few years is a cheap insurance policy. Also inspect the overflow tank for cracks or discoloration. If it's brittle, yellowed, or has visible sediment, it could be feeding dirty coolant back into your system. Even the radiator itself should be checked for signs of corrosion between the fins, leaks around the seams, or bent areas that restrict airflow. And here's a pro tip: shine a flashlight through the radiator from behind. If you can't see light clearly coming through the front fins, it's time for a cleaning or replacement. Finally, consider using distilled water if you're mixing your own coolant. Tap water often contains minerals that can build up in the radiator and heater core over time, reducing efficiency and leading to corrosion. Flushing the system every 50,000 miles with a proper radiator flush, not just draining it, is one of the most underrated ways to preserve engine life. Keeping your cooling system pristine isn't just maintenance, it's a long-term investment in your engine's survival. If you're learning something new here, consider subscribing now. Number 5. The belt that destroys engines without warning. Here's a $50 mistake that strands more high-mileage cars than any other single failure. While these components may seem small and insignificant compared to major engine parts, they play a vital role in your vehicle's overall health and performance. Belts and hoses are constantly exposed to high temperatures, pressure fluctuations, chemical exposure, and mechanical stress. Over time, the rubber compounds they are made from naturally degrade, even if you do not see any visible damage. Most drivers wait for warning signs, but timing belts don't give warnings. They just snap and destroy your engine. However, by the time these signs are noticeable, the damage may already be serious, and the sudden failure of a belt or hose can lead to engine overheating, loss of power steering, or even a breakdown on a busy highway, situations that could be dangerous and very expensive to fix. Proactive replacement means following the manufacturer's recommended maintenance intervals or erring on the side of caution by replacing belts and hoses every 5 to 7 years, regardless of mileage. This preventative approach helps you avoid unexpected roadside failures and keeps your engine running reliably as it approaches the 500,000-mile milestone. The serpentine belt, sometimes called the drive belt, is one of the most important belts under your hood. It powers multiple engine accessories, such as the alternator, power steering pump, air conditioning compressor, and most importantly, the water pump, which circulates coolant through your engine to regulate temperature. When your serpentine belt snaps on the highway, you have maybe 2 minutes before your engine seizes permanently, potentially warping the cylinder head or causing a complete engine seizure, which leads to repairs that could easily run into the thousands of dollars. It also causes immediate loss of electrical power since the alternator stops charging the battery, and the loss of power steering can make controlling your vehicle dangerous at highway speeds. Most mechanics recommend inspecting serpentine belts every 10,000 miles for cracks, glazing, or fraying, and replacing them roughly every 60,000 to 100,000 miles. Timing belts are another critical component and require even stricter attention. Unlike serpentine belts, timing belts control the precise timing of engine valves and pistons. If a timing belt breaks or slips, it can cause catastrophic engine damage, bending valves, and damaging pistons. Replacement intervals for timing belts usually fall between 60,000 and 120,000 miles, or every 5 to 7 years, depending on your vehicle model. It is crucial not to miss this replacement window because the cost of replacing a timing belt is a fraction of what engine repairs after a failure would be. Ignoring these belt replacements is one of the most common reasons well-maintained cars still suffer from sudden, expensive mechanical failures. Hoses might seem less important, but they are just as vital in keeping your car running smoothly. Radiator hoses, heater hoses, and vacuum lines all carry essential fluids and air that regulate engine temperature, fuel delivery, and emissions control. A single hose failure can cause coolant leaks, leading to engine overheating, or fuel leaks, which are a serious fire hazard. Hoses endure constant heat from the engine, pressure from coolant flow, and exposure to chemicals like oil or fuel. Over time, this environment causes hoses to become brittle, soft, cracked, or swollen. When inspecting hoses, don't just look for visible cracks or leaks. Check for bulges, softness, or any signs of deterioration that might indicate internal weakening. Here's the part most people mess up. Make sure clamps are secure to prevent leaks at connection points. Most manufacturers recommend replacing hoses every 4 to 6 years, or sooner if signs of wear appear. Replacing hoses proactively is relatively inexpensive compared to the potential damage caused by a hose burst or leak. Choosing high-quality, original equipment manufacturer hoses or well-reviewed aftermarket brands will ensure proper fit and durability, which can be a cost-effective insurance policy for your car's longevity. Bottom line, ignore this and you'll regret it. Regularly inspecting and replacing belts and hoses before they fail is a simple, low-cost maintenance habit that will protect your engine from unexpected failures and keep your car on the road longer, helping you reach that impressive 500,000-mile mark without major repairs. Number 6. Why saving $30 on parts costs $8,000? When it comes to keeping your car running smoothly for 500,000 miles or more without major repairs, the choice of replacement parts is absolutely crucial, and it's a mistake many people don't realize they're making. Here's the mistake that kills more high-mileage dreams than anything else: buying cheap parts to save $20. But this assumption is dangerous and can cost you a lot more than you save. Original equipment manufacturer parts, commonly known as OEM parts, are designed and produced by the same companies that made the parts originally installed in your vehicle at the factory. This means these parts meet exacting standards for fit, function, and durability that are specific to your car's make and model. They are made with the exact materials, tolerances, and engineering specifications to ensure your car performs as it was intended to for as long as possible. Using OEM parts means maintaining the integrity of your car's systems and avoiding the unexpected failures that can come from subpar components. On the other hand, many cheap aftermarket parts are mass-produced without the same quality controls. They might use lower-grade metals, plastic, or inferior rubber, and they often lack the precise dimensions required for your car's parts to work harmoniously. For example, an aftermarket water pump that doesn't meet OEM specifications can leak or fail prematurely, leading to engine overheating, which is one of the most common and costly failures that can easily be avoided. Save $30 on a water pump, lose $8,000 when it fails and takes your engine with it. That said, not all aftermarket parts are created equal, and some can actually be a smart choice if you pick carefully. High-quality aftermarket brands invest heavily in research and testing to meet or even exceed OEM standards. These brands often offer better warranties and can sometimes improve on the original design with upgraded materials or engineering. Some premium aftermarket parts actually outlast OEM, but only if you stick to brands that cost more, not less, than factory parts. The trick is to avoid no-name brands or parts sold at ridiculously low prices that come with no guarantee and little transparency about their manufacturing. Always do your homework, read reviews, consult automotive forums, and stick with brands that have established reputations. Buying a premium aftermarket alternator from a trusted manufacturer is usually a better option than a generic alternator with unknown origins that may fail suddenly and leave you stranded. For critical components like timing belts, fuel injectors, oxygen sensors, or electronic control modules, OEM or top-tier aftermarket parts are usually the safest choice because these parts play a crucial role in your engine's health and emissions control. Using substandard parts in these systems can cause poor engine performance, higher emissions, or complete engine failure down the line. Remember, longevity is about maintaining the precise engineering balance your car was designed for, and that means trusting parts that meet exact factory specifications. Of course, even the highest quality parts won't do their job if they're installed incorrectly. Proper installation is just as important as the parts themselves. This means following manufacturer specifications for torque settings, using the correct lubricants and seals, and replacing any related components that show wear or damage. For example, when replacing a timing belt, it is highly recommended to also replace the water pump and tensioner at the same time, because these parts wear out on a similar schedule. If you don't, a worn water pump seal can cause coolant leaks that ruin the new timing belt and lead to catastrophic engine damage. Likewise, installing a new set of brake pads without resurfacing the rotors or inspecting the calipers can cause uneven wear and reduce braking effectiveness. Whether you're doing the work yourself or taking it to a mechanic, attention to these details can mean the difference between your car running flawlessly for another 100,000 miles or a breakdown on the side of the road. Experienced mechanics who specialize in your vehicle's make will know these subtleties and will perform a thorough job to avoid common pitfalls. Don't just settle for the lowest bid on parts and labor. Investing in quality parts paired with professional or meticulous installation practices is an unbeatable combination for reaching that 500,000-mile milestone without major repairs. Over time, these careful decisions compound, helping you avoid costly repairs and extend the life of your vehicle well beyond what most people ever imagine possible. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found these secrets helpful, let us know in the comments. Want to check out the next video? Click on the left. And if you don't want to miss more car tricks, hit that subscribe button.